So if you'd like to listen to this in a still position, just take all the time that you need to arrive there and allow your body to move you in whatever ways your body needs to move right now. Maybe some neck rolls, maybe some cat-cow motions with the spine or side body bends. Lifting the arms overhead can be really nice. And if what your body's calling for right now is stillness, then honoring that stillness whenever that feels right to you. And so if you would like to listen to this in a still position, and you have not arrived there already, you can make your way to any position that's comfortable, just feeling that the spine is nice and straight. And feeling free to move and fidget, adjust yourself throughout this practice whenever you feel the need to. And you can mark your arrival into your body today, into your practice today, with a full, intentional cleansing breath. Taking a long and slow inhale in through the nose, and letting yourself fill up fully as you just pause for a moment to hold that air within you, feel yourself as being full. And then as you need to, slowly letting it go. Exhaling bit by bit. And gently pulling the navel toward the spine at the bottom of your exhale to just push that last bit of stagnant air out of you as you again pause to just feel that emptiness. And let your next breath come to you as it's needed. And so you can breathe just like this for a few more rounds for as long as it feels good. And just exaggerating the 4 parts of your breath. So not worrying too much about the length of your inhales, exhales, and holds, but just letting it be maybe just 1 moment longer than you might normally. Just lengthening, consciously slowing down the process of your breath. And whenever it feels right for you to release that guidance, release that control over the breath altogether, you may do so. And maybe almost feel like you're stepping back and up in your mind as you come into that role of the observer or the role of the witness. And even if it's just for a split second, seeing if you can watch your body as it's breathing you, rather than having any direct influence over your breath. Reminding yourself that the breath is the one bodily function that can be either voluntary or automatic. So reminding yourself of that, of your ability to have guidance and control, gentle control over your body and its functions, and then your ability to release that control and to just simply observe your body. Knowing that your body does breathe all on its own even when you are deep in sleep. So there is nothing required of you in this moment. There is nothing you need to do, nothing to get done. And this is not a doing or a thinking process, but one of listening and watching. You can imagine what it's like when you are sitting in front of a big mountain or on the beach, maybe, any force of nature, where you don't feel any need to control or to influence that force, but you just take it all in. And treating your body like the force of nature that it is. And just taking yourself in. And exactly as you are right now in this moment. Knowing that you do not need to be feeling good to show up for a practice like this. This practice is not about erasing your problems or ignoring your problems to feel the good things. This is one where we show up for ourselves as we already are. If we are in a really tough place in life, if we are constantly on the verge of tears or crying, or constantly in pain, or if we are in a really great place in life and feeling pretty blissful and joyful throughout our days. It does not matter what your starting point is, as long as you start with yourself at your starting point today. And knowing that that will change every single day, every moment that we show up to this practice. We will show up to a slightly different version of ourselves, and maybe a drastically different version of ourselves. So even with your eyes closed, if they are closed, you can just imagine what your face looks like right now. Feeling any tension that might be resting on the face, any expression that might be communicated by the expression on your face. Any feelings that you are resting with right now. Just making a note of how you are starting today, or this practice. Maybe you find that the jaw is really tight and holding, or the chin, or the nostrils could be flared, or the brow could be furrowed, maybe with a slight frown. And just knowing that the moment you notice what or where the tension is being held, within the face in this case, that is exactly what gives you that power to notice and instead soften these areas. So allowing your jaw to hang into place and be heavy, allowing your lips to be soft, and just feeling how that will naturally release the muscles in the chin and the nostrils. Naturally spreading outward and upward to the cheeks, and to the ears and the upper jaw. Softening the eyelids just a bit more. And just feeling the corners of the eyes separate slightly, just letting your face be wide. Letting your forehead be wide and deep as you feel the eyebrows soften a little bit more. Maybe even seeing a depiction of all the muscles that exist on your face, all the different muscles that work to create expressions, to share your feelings. And maybe almost feeling like right now these muscles are just ungripping from the bones. Feeling a sense of trust with your own anatomy, a sense of trust with your skin. Communicating to the muscles in your face that it is safe to let go. It is safe to ungrip and release into the support of your skin. And allowing that sense to naturally spread to your hairline and all the way down your scalp. And cascading down all sides of your neck. Feeling your shoulders become a little bit heavier. And the space between the shoulders and the ears getting a little bit longer. Now starting to see the shape of your upper body, particularly your shoulders and heart area. I'm just noticing what your resting posture is like today. Maybe you're sort of in a protective stance. Maybe the shoulders are slightly coming forward and almost hiding the heart in this like cave-like structure. And just making note of that, or anything else that you find. And then bringing awareness to your collarbones and just feeling them broaden. Maybe even feeling the corners of your shoulders feel like they're being drawn away from each other. To just give your heart more space to breathe. Let your heart sit between the upper arms in this proud position and soften into that posture. Maybe now feeling air able to enter the lungs with a bit more ease. Feeling the lungs be hugged by your rib cage with each of your inhales. And just allowing your tailbone to be heavy and to fully sink into the surface that is supporting you. Just reminding yourself of this deep sense of safety that all of us have, just the baseline safety of gravity and the earth. The earth is beneath us, and gravity is holding us to the earth. Ultimately, in this body, we are safe. And as you remind yourself of this ultimate safety that you do have, there might be some layers on top of that, or maybe some other reminders popping up to you, maybe things in your life that don't fully support this safety that you have. Or maybe distract you from the true safety you have. And if that's the case, not pushing those thoughts away because they might be overwhelming or feel demanding perhaps, but letting them be here and letting those seeds be planted and just trusting this natural unfolding of your life, and that you will make the decisions you need to make when you need to make them. And there is always a time period between when we notice a change needs to happen and when we actually make that change. And we are going to be changing throughout our entire lives. So just having some patience and grace with yourself in this unfolding process, wherever you are in your process of change. And if at any point emotional releases need to be made, not fighting those either. Trusting that your body is intelligent and knows what it needs to do, especially when releases come in the form of tears or even shaking or even laughter and a smile. Anything at all that is a natural urge for you. Just trusting what your body needs. And each time we can tune in and become aware of what we need and honor what we need, it will naturally grow that trust with ourselves. It will naturally grow our instincts of release. So just being so patient and kind with yourself wherever you are in this journey, remembering it is not linear, and you may feel like you've made a lot of progress and then a lot of setbacks. And that doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or that you're bad in any way. It just means that you are human and you are living the human experience and going through the phases of growth and decay and change and all the messy things, as well as all the beautiful things. And you're starting to bring some more awareness to come into your physical heart. And just seeing if you can tune in closely with this unique rhythm of the heart beating inside of your chest. And you can always place one or both hands on top of the heart to just encourage that feeling from the outside as well, if that feels good and right. Just taking this moment to remember the gift that this heart truly is, and how this is pumping life into you every single moment of every single day you've been here, and even before you were breathing air. And this heart will continue to be here working for you until our time is done here. As you are listening and feeling your heart and this natural love that exists within you at all times, there may also be some pain, some hurt, some heartache. Your heart might feel particularly heavy today. And feeling that as well, allowing yourself to feel whatever is present within you. And just trusting that you are exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel good. Remembering that we are not meant to feel good all of the time. And if we did feel good all of the time, it wouldn't be good, because it would be the same thing. And when we feel good or bad or any other label for those feelings, we are feeling the contrast. We are feeling the space between our lowest and our highest. So feeling a sense of maybe even gratitude for your lowest moments. Knowing that they do give you the ability to feel even higher highs. And also just trusting your own environment, your own internal environment. And this inner trust that you have with yourself on a deep level, even if there's layers of doubt above it. Beneath all the doubt, we all have this deep sense of trust with ourselves. And if you are moving through a change, a relationship change, if you are in a stage of grief right now, just returning to that trust with yourself. Knowing that at the end of everything, you will always have you. And other people may and will come and go from our lives. But that feeling of love and trust that we feel with others is timeless. It is infinite. And even if relationships were soured at later points, it doesn't change the love. And you have the ability to soak in all the good and helpful things, or all the things that feel helpful and empowering to you. And you have the ability to release the rest. trusting that your body is a natural filter and that you will welcome in the things that feel beneficial and helpful, even if they might not be labeled as good. But you have the ability to welcome in whatever you need and to release the rest. And knowing that change does happen and will happen, and it's not something we can escape, does not necessarily make it any easier. So allowing yourself to be in those messy emotional parts of your journey, if that's where you are right now, and just trusting that everything changes, and even these more complicated, maybe more painful feelings will also change. And I think the greatest comfort that just accepting those painful feelings that we are currently experiencing or have experienced, the greatest comfort can just be erasing that top layer of feeling like you should feel different. Of that voice that's maybe saying, well, I should feel grateful, but there are so many good things happening in my life in other areas, so I should be happy. But maybe one area of your life is particularly tough. And that will always happen. We may be thriving in one aspect of our life while at the same time really the opposite of thriving in another. And they don't have to be related. But just erasing that top layer of the should feelings, feeling like things should be different than the way they are right now, or that you should feel different than the way you are feeling right now. And when you feel those thoughts come up, because they will come, just reminding yourself when you hear it that whatever is happening, whatever you are doing, whatever you are feeling right now is what you should be feeling, because you are feeling it. And another really great comfort in these phases of change that we'll move through is the moon every night. And in ancient astrology, what the moon represents is our body, our physical body. We are matter. Our bodies, our bones do not have a light of its own, but our body does reflect the light of our soul, our inner spark. And the moon reflects the light of the sun, the soul. And sometimes we are a full moon, and the moon is fully illuminated by soul, can shine light to others in the darkness, and be whole and bright. And then there are other times where that moon, it's the same moon, it's still there, but it's in the shadows, and it is a new moon. It's not reflecting any light from the sun. It's almost in the stage of hibernating, and it's not sharing its light. It is resting, maybe. And then there are all the phases in between that new moon and the full moon. And we are just like that moon. There are times where we feel full and capable of sharing our love and strength with the people around us and can help others through the darkness. And there are also times where we are in the shadows. Maybe we feel disconnected from ourselves, from our soul, and we feel a sense of hiding, maybe. And that does not mean there's anything wrong with you. We are not meant to stop at a full moon and be a full moon all of the time. We are meant to move through all of these phases. So just giving yourself that permission, that grace, to be in that new moon state, if that's where you are, for as long as you need to be there. And also using it as permission to fully be your full moon self, if that's where you are, to fully soak that in and share as much good as you can while you're feeling that way, remembering that it will change as well. And a very simple, helpful metaphor or analogy is just every storm runs out of rain. If you are in a storm right now, maybe it's days or weeks long storm, maybe months, but every storm does run out of rain eventually. So just allowing yourself to sit down and feel that rain wash over you instead of running alongside the storm and trying to outrun it or figure it out, but just letting yourself have a seat and trusting that the clouds will pass over. And so you can start to bring some attention back to your face and just noticing if any expression is crept back there. And seeing if there's any areas that would feel better if they were softened. And bringing some attention now also to your heart. If it has left. And just feeling a slight tuck in your chin. And feeling the back of your neck get nice and long. And just clearing any kinks along the path from your heart to your head. And with your awareness, just tracing that space between your physical heart, up and through the throat, into the brain stem, and up into the brain itself. Maybe even feeling a sense of a heartbeat in your brain. Maybe at the top of your head or the space between the eyebrows. Or maybe even the space between the inner ears at the very center of the skull. And just strengthening this connection between your heart and your head simply by being aware of it. This is your body, this is your heart and your head. And you do have the ability to feel these sensitive rhythms, just to feel and observe them. Just notice what it feels like in you today. And just allowing your heart to feed into your head. So there's a little bit less of a disconnection maybe between what our heart and heads want. Trusting that you have the ability to think through this love that is in your heart, to see, to speak, all through this power that is in your heart, this pure sense of life. And if there's any area in your body now that feels like it needs a little extra help, any areas of pain, emotional pain or physical pain or both, just now tracing the connection, the internal connection between your heart and that area of your body. So maybe if your stomach isn't feeling so good, just tracing with your mind, imagining what your body looks like right now, seeing your heart and letting your awareness travel down to the stomach and back up to the heart and back to the stomach, or to wherever in your body needs that extra support. So allowing your heart to do what it does best, which is heal. Just bringing a little awareness now just to the palms of your hands. And just feeling this pulse that is running through your hands as well. Maybe even tracing the space between your hands and your heart. Remembering all the physical veins and vessels that connect your heart to your hands. Reminding yourself that your hands have the ability to create and to heal through this love that is in your heart. And that your heart is unique to you, and your heart is worth sharing, just as everyone else. There is not one person out there in the world who hears, feels, sees, and just perceives the world the way that you do. And your outlook on life is valuable. If it feels like something you'd like to do, you can just let the palms of your hands just be drawn toward each other. And just feeling the pulse of your palms into each other. And maybe pressing the thumbs toward the heart as you just lift the heart back toward the thumbs. And just fully feeling your own power here. And just allowing yourself to take one final deep and full breath into the body as you inhale through the nose, and just watch yourself fill up to every corner and edge of you. And as you exhale, slowly letting all of it go as you allow the head to gently bow. And just take this moment to bow to the source of energy that allows your heart to beat, allows all of our hearts to beat, whatever you believe that to be. And bowing to everyone else in this space who has listened and completed this practice right alongside you. And finally, bowing to yourself for choosing to show up today and taking the time out of your busy life for this pure act of self-love and self-care. May this act continue to heal you through the rest of your days and nights. And may you bring the same love and understanding to everything you do and to everyone that you see. Thank you.